With the rise of battle royales also came an increase in the amount of looting we do in video games. Even though games have progressed a lot in the last decade, looting seems to have almost stagnated, especially when it comes to PvP shooters. Looting is a very broad term of course, so let me trim it down to the part I want to talk about. So all the loot you obtain in a boring still kind of way, like in most battle royales. Something being generally accepted does not mean it is a good system. In most battle royales you drop in naked. Your goal is to win, and to heighten your chances of winning you want to be as prepared as you possibly can. This is the meta. Most of the time you want to have a good loadout and some healing. To find all this you will have to do some looting. That loot will most likely be randomly distributed with some caveats like high or low quality loot locations. Looting has a very low skill floor, so there is not a lot of room for skill expression. This combined with the fact so much of your playtime is just spent looting makes it become really boring really quickly. So if so much time is spent doing this boring task, what is it that keeps people playing for so long? They don't got games and they want to win. For them, if a chance at getting a victory royale means having to loot for 20 minutes straight, they will happily do that. But is this good design? It feels like you got to get through a chore to get to the fun part of a game. You could also just run it down mid without loot, but if you want to win, that's not smart. And I would not care, but if it doesn't work out, there are heavy repercussions because you gotta requeue, wait for a match, wait for it to load, drop in, okay, now you're back in action after 3 minutes of downtime because you wanted to have fun for 30 seconds. In Call of Duty, when you want to have fun and run it down, you have to wait 5 seconds after you die and you can just do it again. In Battle Royales in general, being aggressive is not encouraged. So I made this graph of Fortnite and Call of Duty. We can all agree fighting is the most fun in both of these games, right? No? Okay, click off. No, I'm kidding. If we leave menuing out, the graph looks like this. As you can see, they're very different. But you could make the argument that this does not mean Call of Duty is more fun of a shooter than Fortnite is. But you can't deny that in Call of Duty you spend more time doing what you bought the game for than in Fortnite. The thing with Fortnite is that it's free, and most if not all battle royales are. That means we cannot demand for a top quality product, even though these companies are stinking rich. And Fortnite has addressed the downtime issue by adding stuff like PvE and side quests. I don't know if it's still in the game, but for a little while you could fish to loot, making the looting feel more interactive and organic than just hearing the chest sound for the 100th time and holding square. But we are talking about classic Fortnite and not modern times, so how to make looting fun? Opening chests or crates or breach and searching everything is not fun at all. A few games have realized it. It not being fun has a lot to do with the raw amount of times you do it. Opening a chest in Elden Ring is hype every time. They are sprinkled throughout the map, and most of the times they reward the player for having a keen eye or overcoming an obstacle like a boss. Something else that makes it fun is that you don't know what you are going to get. In a PvP multiplayer game, the devs have to balance the game somehow, and having infinite weapons in the game isn't going to make that easy. But loot-based PvP games can still learn a thing or two. In Borderlands for example, the devs knew that opening a chest wasn't the most fun way to get loot. So what did they do? They made the most fun part of the game, which is shooting, and the most important progression in the game, which is looting, the same thing. So now you're never out of the fun. One different way I think they could improve on looting is making it a minigame, and how well you do in the minigame decides the quality of loot you get. A game that did something similar to this is Gears of War. They took a simple mechanic, reloading, and turned it into this minigame where you could press the reload button again, and if you timed it right, you got a faster reload and a slight damage boost. And if you mistimed the perfect reload, it took longer than it would have if you had not bothered at all. This adds so much depth to a mechanic that would otherwise not have been mentioned at all. And I got the same feeling for looting. It is something that if unchanged, technically it's functional, but there's so much room for exploration in an otherwise dull mechanic. So Fortnite just decreased the chest count by 90%, make some different minigames to obtain loot using building and shooting as a primary function, and add some stakes like going down or losing an item in your inventory, and give extra rewards for doing these minigames perfect. Half the map size and we're golden. I haven't played Fortnite in 8 years.